when I was a kid, I actually got introduced to him as an actor first.
Okay.
It was on one of his comedy movies. He was chasing his son when he was on the bus, and his face was like he was surprised. Ice Cube, I got introduced to him as an actor first.
Okay.
You seeing him as I believe it as a teen first.
Teen.
What did you see in him when you first met this kid at this point in time?
Cube came to me as a 3-man group. It was him, KD, and Jinx. They were all going to Washington High School, not far from my house. They were called, at that time, the Stereo Crew. And they were all about maybe 15, 16 years old. One thing about them, all 3 of them are born around the same time. They're all 3 Geminis. Okay. And I'm a Gemini. So we had the commonality. And I thought that was cool. I was going to call them 3Gs, but they didn't like that name. So they was stuck with Stereo Crew. And he was always the most laid back. He was always the one that was watching. Jinx was always in your face. KD was super cool, still is. But Jinx was the one, he was a spider on the wall that was watching everything. He was that spider on the wall that, he was always trying to show me different kind of lyrics. At that time, hip hop was so new. I was busy doing record shit. I didn't really pay attention to a lot of the stuff he was doing. Okay, I could lie and say, "Oh yeah, no, I'm not going to do that to you, man." I didn't pay attention. I listened and I thought it was good. I didn't know exactly what he was doing, and that's one of the things that I learned from my sensei is that he didn't know what the fuck I was doing. He just let me do it. It was not his wheelhouse to understand what I was doing. He just his thing was, don't get me arrested, don't get my business shut down. And the same thing here. Do what you got to do, man. It just, as long as it works, it works. I ain't got to understand how the sausage is made. Just make it taste good.
Back then, did you ever think he'd be the one that would be doing "fuck the police"?
No. You got to understand that I met these guys that were youngsters. I'm triple OG.
Right.
Let's do the numbers right quick. Right now, I'm 69 years old. Cube just turned 50 something. So I know for a fact I'm 12 years older than he is. So if he's 16, I'm 28.
Right.
Okay. So I don't see the kids people see right now. I'm looking at a kid. I'm not looking at somebody who's been through the NWA thing, who's been through fuck the police, I had to go back and relearn him. And then when I talk to him, we talk right now, it's like going back to where it was.
Right.
I know he's a powerful cat now, but we still have that, that old school relationship. He's glad to see me from a triple OG perspective, not just a fan. I'm a fan, but I'm not a fanboy. Hey man, that's my dude. I love him to death. But hey man, he looks out for me as somebody who was there for him in the beginning, and that's respectful.
Especially you being much older at the time than him, a lot of the language they were using in those records. I can't speak for you, but I'm sure if you said those words in your household when you were a kid, it would have been a real big problem.
I'd have got fucked up.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Simple as that.
Right.
Up. All right. And that was something that for my generation, I had to struggle. I struggled with for a long time, still do. Because some of the things these guys say today, even as world-class wrecking crew, on one of our records called House Call. Okay, House Call, the last part of House Calls, Shakespeare says, "Hey, you left your driver license over here. Now I got to kick your ass." We couldn't even say the A in ass. We had to edit out the A in ass. Okay, that's what we're talking about. 86. So to see people get away with pretty much cussing people out on records today, it's like, damn, y'all should have, because I cuss real well. Oh, y'all could have told me y'all was the people cuss. I could have made a hell of a platinum record by now. I've been cussing all my life, but at that time it wasn't permitted.
Right.
So to see somebody like Cube do "fuck the police" and cussing become almost mandatory, it was a very big shock for me. And there were some things my personal DNA won't allow me to do.
Right.
I still don't cuss in front of girls. I still don't cuss in front of old women. I ain't gonna do it. I was different, man. I was raised differently. You know, I work with a lot of city council people, a lot of people from churches and stuff like that. It's just certain things as a man that grew up in my generation, I can't do.
Right. Would you say it's that bad factor? Is that why cursing probably became prominent? Was because it's like you're not really supposed to be saying that?
Well, you know, cursing reminds me of an era that back in the 70s, being rebellious.
Right.
We had a rebellious stage in the 70s as well. You know, it was all about freedom and fuck the establishment and shit like that. You know, and you wore big ass natural, or you wore your hair real long, and that all that shit was all fine and dandy in the 70s when they was doing peace rallies and, you know, peace signs and hippies and shit like that. But at some point in time, that shit wasn't paying no money, and everybody got a haircut. It just changed. They changed their perspectives. That happened back then because the establishment was still in control. The establishment, it don't run the streets like it used to. The social media does. So social media has got people to conform in ways they never thought they would.
Right.
You know, people are being I ain't gonna say forced. They're being trained to accept things they never thought they'd had to accept. I don't want to get too deep on that.
Right.